Welcome all the people who are joining us for the first time. And just know that we always have this session every Monday beginning exactly 7:15. But we join from as early as 7 to network, to chat, to get to know each other for those who can join earlier. Noel,
Good morning. Um, how
good
was
morning.
your how is your Monday? I'm pretty sure you guys are having a glorious Monday. So I. Kindly, today my apologies. Allow me to introduce the guest of the day, but I'm going to introduce this guest with my camera off. Kindly.
Okay, okay, go ahead.
Thank you. Our guest of the day is Nasambu Wanjala. She is the founder and CEO of Fortify Africa Safety Technology, a leading technology firm dedicated to cybersecurity solutions with nearly a decade of experience in the cybersecurity field. Nasambu has become a trusted advisor to businesses across various industries, helping them project their digital assets from evolving cyber threats. Her expertise spans network security, risk management, incident response, and cybersecurity trainings, making her a go-to expert for practical, effective strategies in the ever-changing digital landscape. A tech enthusiast at heart, Nasambu is always exploring the latest advancements in technology and how they can be leveraged to enhance cybersecurity. Beyond her professional accomplishments, Nasambu is deeply committed to giving back to the community. She regularly volunteers with local nonprofits to provide cybersecurity education and mentorship to underprivileged youth, helping to inspire the next generation of tech leaders. Nasambu holds a degree in accounting and finance from Makerere University Business School and is a certified ethical hacker, CEH. She is currently completing her second degree in cybersecurity at Brigham Young University. She is a passionate advocate for mental health awareness, often speaking on the importance of work-life balance in high-stress industries. She enjoys spending time outdoors with her family, whether it's hiking or sightseeing, and has traveled in over 14 countries. Today, she joins us to share her valuable insights on safeguarding your business in an increasing connected world. Karibu sana Nasambu.
Thank you so much, Noel, and thank you, Paul Peter, for this platform. Good morning, everyone. It's such a joy to be with you today. And I must say that, Nancy, that was beautiful. So I'm first going to share my screen. Yes, it's such a joy to be with you today to talk about a topic that I'm very passionate about, and that is cybersecurity. And today we are going to focus mainly on businesses and how we as business decision makers are able to be cyber secure and ensure that our team are aware of the threats that are posed on the cyberspace and also how to remain vigilant. So you're most welcome. And once again, feel free. I hope it's going to be an interactive session. In case you have any question or you need any clarification. I know we're going to have a Q&A at the end, but as I go along, if you need any clarification, please feel free to let me know. So we have divided this talk into 4 parts. And the first part, yes, OPP?
People will be putting their questions in the chat just to ensure that time is managed.
Okay. All right, so I've divided the talk into 4 parts. The first part is understanding the security landscape. We're going to look at what is happening on the global scene, and then we look at locally. And part of that will also include talking about how cybersecurity has evolved over time. We'll also look at how to build a cyber secure or a cyber resilient business. What do you need to look for? What should you be aware of, and so on. And the third part, we look at I'll give some practical tips, and then I'll conclude. So just like you had in my introduction, I work with Fortify Africa Safety Technologies. And part of what we do is, first of all, fortifying your digital defenses. And that means that we help you build or design a comprehensive multi-layered protection that is tailored for your specific needs as a business. We also offer data protection officer services. And as you are all aware, or for those ones who are not aware, according to the Data Protection Act of Kenya and also Uganda, you're supposed, as a business, as long as you're dealing with people's information, you're supposed to have a DPO on site who is supposed to take care of all your security needs. So for companies that don't want to create a docket for that or a department for that, we also come in and offer the same services. We also train our clients, especially end users, on how to remain security conscious even as they interact on the internet. So we come in and empower your staff to take proactive measures in protecting your digital asset. And then we also offer services. This is Chief Information Security Officer services. Again, if you in your organization, you've reached a point where you feel you need a Chief Information Security Officer, but you don't want to create a department for that, we can also come in. And this is very budget friendly, because you don't need to have a full-time staff for that or a full-time department for that. So we can offer virtual CISO services. And then, of course, support. If you need guidance on implementation practices, maybe you require system maintenance, we also ensure that we give you the necessary support. So Fortify Africa has a presence in 3 countries so far, that is Kenya, Uganda, and most recently Rwanda. And it's such a pleasure again to be with you to just show you what we do and how you can benefit with working with us. So let's look at the security landscape. And to do that, I'm going to share another screen. So on my screen, just a minute. I'll start with this tab. So this shows the world's biggest data breaches as of 2024. Some of these brands, you work with them, maybe they provide services to you and so on. Some of them you're familiar with them, some of them are not. For example, Microsoft, you're all familiar with Microsoft. So just this year, 30 million records were lost. And you can see it was, there's a hacking group in Sudan. So Sudan hacked Microsoft and accessed customer data that caused outages, and they offered the database for $50,000. $50,000. This was being sold in the dark web, the data that was stolen from Microsoft, but Microsoft claimed no evidence of compromise of customer data. So most people are not even aware of this. Some are very small. If I just zoom in on this, so each dot here represents a cyber breach. Dropbox, all of us are familiar with Dropbox. It's a cloud storage space that also offers free subscription. So yes, 100,000 records were lost. And then again, Dropbox did not disclose this information, and so on and so forth. So you can even scroll down and look, as of 2022, 533 million records were lost. We still have Microsoft over here, and so on and so forth. So at this point, most people think, well, this is a global organization. Maybe my business is too small to worry about this level of compromise. However, if I go to the next stage, now, if you look at the tools that you use in your business, and even personally, if you look at majority of the apps on your phone, most of them originate from the US. In fact, 90% of the tools and softwares that we are using originate from the US. Now, take a look at this. This is the US, and you can see there's so much activity going on. Down here, the attacks are being flagged by location, and then the severity and the kind of attacks. And as you can see, US is very busy. Most of the attacks are towards the US and also originating from the US. So if they're keeping information for you, number one, that is one thing that you should be very worried about. And then number two, not worried in a bad way, but how secure are you, even as you send information to them. So when information is in transit from you and also to them, how secure is your information? Okay, on the next slide, let me skip that. Let's look now back at home in the region. How do we stand in terms of cyber attacks and cybersecurity? So here it's just showing the real-time threat map all over the world. I'll just come and filter Kenya. So yesterday night, when I checked this, Kenya was the 36th most attacked country. I think I touched something there. Yes, it was the 36th most attacked countries. It's good that something is being done. So we are currently at number 56. This keeps changing depending on the attacks and what is happening and so on. If you look at a country like Uganda, this is ranking according to the number of countries we have. I think we have around 195 countries in the world. So Uganda is the 99th most attacked country as of today. And again, these numbers keep changing. Now, this is almost at below the half mark. And again, this is something that each one of us needs to be concerned about, especially if you have a business, if you deal with people's information, if you keep people's information and so on. So I'll go back to our slide and we are going to look at the evolving nature of cyber threats. Okay, so we all remember back then when we used to have cyber threats look like this. A couple of decades ago, you'll get a message, maybe an email on your Yahoo. By then, we didn't even have Gmail. And there'll be someone telling you they're from West Africa, their parents died, maybe the uncle, they have this evil uncle who wants to take their information or their money, and they want your bank account so that they can send the money there for safekeeping. And when all is well, you're going to send the money back. So funny enough, back then I fell for it. The only thing that stopped me was I didn't have a bank account, but we corresponded for a while. And I think this guy or lady, whoever, figured out that I'm not a very viable target, and they stopped communicating with me. So looking back, that was very risky. What if I had, what's it called? What if I had a bank account? What if I had shared my information? Chances are very high I would have been compromised. So cyber threat, cyber crime has evolved greatly. In the first page that I showed you on the browser, there was a lot of activity going on. So just like you guys wake up in the morning and you prepare, you come to work, maybe earn a living, whatever kind of work you're doing. There's a group of people who wake up and their work is to look for money online. And how do they do that? They hack into people's information, they steal information, they steal money, they hold people's accounts and information hostage. and they are known as cyber criminals, and that's how they make their money. So the cyber threat has really evolved over the years, and we've seen a sophistication in the attacks. I'll explain a few things. So for example, we have in the cyber hacking world, we have AI and machine learning in attacks. So you don't even need high level of sophistication when it comes to hacking. There are tools and softwares that can do that for you. And that has increased the number of, or the entry in the cyber criminal world. So the entry barrier has been reduced. And as a result, we've seen an increase in the frequency of attacks. We also have targeted attacks and ransomware. They no longer just send random messages to people. For example, they have specific attacks for different kinds of businesses. So if maybe you're dealing with money, you're a finance firm, they have specific attacks for that. Or maybe you're a healthcare, and so on and so forth. So the level of attacks have become more sophisticated, and this has also increased the frequency of attacks. During COVID and even post-COVID, we saw a rise in the number of remote work, remote learning, and even what are they called? Interactions and buying of stuff online. And this increased the number of vulnerabilities within the users. And also because of that, we saw a rise in the number of phishing and social engineering. We've also seen over the years, especially in the past 5 years or so, we've seen a rise of supply chain attacks. So this is where now they're not just targeting a specific person. So if, for example, I'm targeting Live Your Dream as an organization, I look at the third party suppliers. So maybe Paul and his team, they are using a certain software. That is what I target to get into the organization. So if you don't have a well-protected network, these people will be able to compromise your entire system. We also saw what we call state-sponsored cyber attacks. These are on the rise. Now, this is where nations or states are increasingly engaging in cyber warfare, and they're using cyber attacks to achieve maybe political, economic, or even military objectives. And these attacks are very sophisticated, and they target very critical infrastructure. In Kenya, we've seen that happening in the recent past a lot. We also have what we call zero-day vulnerabilities. Now, these are exploited before developers can even release patches. So zero-day means they don't give you a chance to be able to protect yourself. So once an attack is done, it's done within a very short time, and you don't have time to fight back. You don't have time to protect yourself. So those are called zero-day vulnerabilities, and those are on the increase as well. We have also identity theft and data breaches. These are becoming more frequent and severe. And we are seeing hackers stealing personal and financial information and selling it either in the dark web or holding you ransom until maybe you pay money or they'll release this information. This is very common with popular people, where you have their information stolen, and then you have to do something or give them money, or else they're going to release this information. We've also seen in the past 2 years or so, we've seen an emergence of deepfake and synthetic media. This is now where fake information or synthetic media. Synthetic media means you as a user, you're not able to tell real information from fake information. So they're using maybe media. You'll see a video, you'll see an image, and you can't be able to tell whether it's real or it's fake. So they're using this to disinform, to fraud, and also to blackmail people. Hackers are taking advantage of this. There's a story, I think it happened late last year, where someone was able to have money wired to a specific account, and the finance team was convinced that it was coming from management because there was a meeting they were invited to. But what they didn't know is everyone on that meeting was fake, apart from the finance guy, and he was able to send the money. So these technologies allow attackers to create a very convincing fake audio or video, and this further complicates cybersecurity efforts. And then, of course, we have the pressures for regulatory and compliance. We had the Data Protection Act. Currently, we are working with the 2019 version, and they're saying that each company is supposed to be compliant, and there are a number of things that you're supposed to do. So governments are responding to the rise in the number of cybersecurity threats, and they're trying to implement stricter data protection regulations. And as a company or as a business, you're required to comply to standards such as GDPR. This is the General Data Protection Act, and also increase your cybersecurity measures. So you as a business, why are you particularly vulnerable? Number one, most business people, especially in this part of the world, we think that this is something that we should not be worried about. It's mostly for big organization or maybe other parts of the world. And as a result, your security measures are not, for most companies, really, they're non-existent. Now, the hackers or the attackers, the cyber criminals know this, and what they're doing is more and more we are seeing a rise in the number of attacks for small businesses. In fact, 43%, according to the recent survey, 43% of cyber attacks are happening in small businesses. Why? Again, the security measures are low, people are not aware, and they're ignorant as to how they should be able to protect their businesses. Please note that the number of attacks in small businesses, especially in this part of the country, of the world, in Africa, East Africa, is higher than the attacks in big organizations. Okay. So what should you do to build a cyber resilient business? Number one, you need to assess the level in which you are at as a business. So we have 4 levels. The first one, you're going to fall in. Once you do your assessment, you're going to find yourself in one of these 4 levels. The first level is where there's no specific security planning. There's no preparation. So today, your team is not aware if our information is compromised or someone within the team, they can no longer access the information. What do they need to do? There's no preparation for that. There's no surveillance mechanism available as well. So resilient is dependent on personal initiative of employees. So you'll find someone, maybe they're backing up the information or they are periodically changing their password. So the initiative is dependent on specific individuals within the organization. That's the first level. So the second level is where you as a business, you have a cybersecurity plan or preparation and surveillance activities. However, there's no organizational strategy in place regarding cybersecurity. So the processes that you have in place are not yet mature and are very isolated efforts that are being carried out. So there's no data about the effectiveness of your employed cybersecurity approaches. At the third level, we now have the planned level framework. So here is where organization now have, how can I say it? You have a proper plan, you have a design, and you have testing processes in place that you're using to periodically check the level of cybersecurity and whatnot. So in this level, the third level, you'll find that most companies, yes, they do have this, but the strategies are not strictly followed. So it's being initiated by one department per se. So You have maybe the IT department or the security department that is solely in charge of ensuring that your information is safe. However, on the third level, all this is happening, but everyone is aware of their role within the organization and how they contribute to securing the information and the data of the organization. So it's a collective effort within the organization, and that is the last stage, and that's the stage that most organizations should strive to be at. All right, so for you to develop a cybersecurity strategy, there are a couple of things you need to do. So you've assessed, you've found out that you're on this level, maybe you're on level 1 or level 2 or whatever. The next thing you need to do is to develop a strategy. And in your strategy, you should be able to include the following. First of all, risk management. You need to identify and also prioritize the risks specific to your business. You'll find, for example, a law firm, the risks that are specific to them are different from a dental business or a boutique, and so on and so forth. So identify and prioritize the risks, and then establish a very clear cybersecurity policy and procedure that everyone in the company must follow. So for example, you can say every 3 months, everyone needs to change their password. And everyone within the organization understands that. Maybe you have prompts where every 3 months, people will be notified that this is what they need to do. Everyone should understand that our information is backed up in such and such a place. Everyone understands that if my account is compromised, this is the first thing I need to do. So establish security policies and then invest in the right tools. So at some point, you will need to invest in the right tools, such as firewalls, antivirus, encryption of your data, and backup solutions. This is very key in ensuring that there's another layer of security for your data and information. And then have an incident response plan. So prepare for any potential breaches by having a well-defined incident response plan in place. So this means that if there is an incident, if there's a compromise within your environment, it should not be able to affect your operations in any way. Everyone knows what they need to do, and this minimizes downtime or the damage that can be caused by such an attack. You should also strengthen your employees, have an awareness training in place. This should be periodic, where now people are taught on how to remain vigilant. Please note that the weakest link in terms of cybersecurity in any organization is the employees. So if they are not aware, they are going to pose what we call internal threat to the organization. So the trainings are very important. And these are supposed to be regular sessions so that you create a culture of cybersecurity awareness within the organization. You also need to partner with experts. So that means you can hire someone within to join your team full-time to be able to take care of this. If you feel that this is not viable for you at this point, you can also consult with experts out there so that they can they can help you in all these stages, the assessment, the building of the strategy, and so on and so forth. Why is it important to partner with experts and not just, just go ahead and wing it? Number one, they offer a proactive threat detection. So they're going to use advanced tools and techniques to identify the threats that before they even cause the damage. And they'll also continue monitoring your business, and this allows real-time detection of any suspicious activity. And this helps to reduce the time to respond to potential breaches. Because in my line of work, we found out that people who reach out to us, most of the time it's because something has already happened. And all of a sudden they can't access the information, or they've been locked out of their accounts. And that's when they want you to come in and help. And most of the times it's either too late or the damage done is great. So if you have someone you're working with who is able to do this, then they're going to reduce the time to respond to potential breaches. They also, working with an expert also means that you're going to minimize the downtime. Downtime means the time in which you're not able to be operational as this problem is being taken care of. So they'll swiftly address any security incidents, and this will minimize downtime and prevent any disruptions to your operations. You'll also, working with an expert also allows you to access specialized knowledge, because the experts are up to date with the latest threats, the vulnerabilities, and any compliance requirements of your country or your business, the kind of business that you're involved in. So if there's any compliance requirements, they will be able to help you with that. So they have their specialized knowledge, which enables businesses to implement effective security measures. They're also going to help reduce financial impact. Again, as I said, most people reach out when it's too late and they're losing money, this situation can be prevented because they're going to not only prevent breaches, but they'll also respond quickly to any incidents that can, and this will be able to save business from costly breaches, maybe ransomware payments, and also recovery expenses. We also have compliance and risk management. Now, this is where the experts ensure that your business complies with industry regulations, standards. They'll help reduce the risk of penalties and also improve your overall risk management. This is very important for industries with strict data protection laws. If your business deals with people's personal information, we have very strict data protection laws that you have to make sure you adhere to. We also have enhanced reputation for your business. We've had businesses which have lost their reputation because of data breaches. And most companies, as we saw back in the browser, most companies do not want to disclose this information because they don't want to lose the trust of their clients and also their reputation. So again, working with experts can protect your reputation and maintain your customer trust. And of course, the monitoring and the support. So they have continuous monitoring, means that your business is protected around the clock. Now, as a business, what are the practical tips that you should do now that you know how important this is? Number one, you should start small, but be very strategic. Don't just be there until something happens. So start small, take actionable steps. For example, you can start by updating your softwares. If I may ask, just something for you to ponder. How many of you changed your password in the last 6 months? Password on your phones, maybe your work password and so on. Your Gmail. By phones, I mean the Gmail on your phone. Most people don't do that. In fact, they don't even understand how important that is. Some people, if they are to change their password, they'll be locked out of their phones because, again, they can't even remember what the password was. So please make sure you update your softwares, use strong passwords. We all know characteristics of a strong password, but make sure your passwords are strong. You need to enable MFA, multi-factor authenticator. Sometimes it's called two-factor authenticator. This is now where, over and beyond you just providing a password, you have to provide a code that has been sent to your phone or app to just confirm that you're the owner of that business. So start small with such small things. You don't even need money to do any of this, and then start building on that. You also need to keep your data secure. That means that you have to invest in secure storage. We have free storage spaces like G Drive, Dropbox, and so on. Again, this might not be enough for your business, depending on how big your business is. And for this case, then you have to invest in secure storage spaces in the cloud. Make sure that your data is encryption. So you have to also invest in encryption softwares. so that your information is safe. Even if someone tries to hack your information, either in transit or at rest in your storage space, that information will be encrypted, especially if you deal with sensitive customer information. You also need to stay informed and adapt. You need to know what is happening on the later cybersecurity trends and threats. That's the only way you're going to protect yourself. The cyber criminals bank on the fact that you do not know what is happening. You do not care. Many people are very ignorant. They feel like it's not their thing. It's not their worry. And as a result, they fall prey. So, and this includes not just you as a business decision maker, but also the team that is the team that you're leading. So make sure that you remain updated on what is happening in terms of cybersecurity trends. And also remember that cybersecurity is not a one-time thing. This is an ongoing process. It's not a one-time effort. So you need, again, to keep repeating some of these things, having these conversations with your teams as well. So in conclusion, I just want to do a quick recap of what I've said. The main takeaways that you should go away with is, number one, you need to understand the threat landscape, and that it's not just for big organizations or developed countries. These problems are here with us. I'm sure each one of us has an example of a cybersecurity attack that happened either personally or to people they know or organizations that they're familiar with. The common ones are where you see someone saying, my Facebook account has been compromised. Please don't send money if they ask you or whatever. That's a cybersecurity compromise, and it's affecting all of us. So understand the threat landscape. You need to build a resilient strategy for your team. So this is a conversation that you need to start having, and then take the practical steps that we talk about.
Thank you. Time yetu imeenda.
Okay, I'm done. Thank you so much, OPP,
Yes.
and thank you so much, everyone, for your time.
Thank you. Thank you. I think we will need to rush to questions. I know cybersecurity is important and it's large. By the way, for us, we usually have a whole day training on this, where we help you to also seal certain obvious loopholes, including how you do your emails and all sorts of things. Yeah, most of the most popular ones are social engineering, as you call them. So there was first question from Dr. Melvin. What is the dark web, and what is the dark web, and is one stolen data retrievable without paying a ransom?
Should I answer first, or should
Yes,
you?
answer
Okay.
one at a time. Yeah.
All right. I'll give you short answers. So those are two questions. What is the dark web? The dark web is the part of the web that is not regulated by anybody. So it's a free for all. What you do there, as long as you are protected in terms of VPNs and whatnot, you're not regulated by anyone. There's a good side of the dark web, and of course, because of lack of rules and regulations, there's also the bad side of the dark web. Why it's called dark is because, again, it's not regulated, not specifically because it's bad. Can your information be, what was the question again?
Retrieved without pay.
Can your information be retrieved without paying a ransom? So here we are assuming that the only thing the hacker or the cyber criminal wants is money, but sometimes it's not just money. Sometimes the attacks are actually malicious. Maybe they just want to wipe your information clean, or they want to sell this information to your competitors, or maybe they've been contracted by your competitors or someone with a vested interest to get that information. So depending on what the goal of the attack is, yes, you can, especially if you have good, if you're working with the experts, you can, but most of the times it's very hard.
Okay, thank you. So it depends on the intention of the hacker, whether they wanted money or they just wanted to damage your reputation. A
Absolutely.
question from Dr. Gilda. Please talk on how cell phones expose organizations.
Yes. Now, we also have what we call BOIs, bring your own device. Now, in bringing your own device, we have situations where people are accessing work information, but they're not, these are not work, they're not accessing the information on work issued devices. You have your laptop that was issued by the company. It has all the security measures in place in terms of firewalls, in terms of how is it called, in terms of endpoint security. But when it comes to accessing this same information with these other devices, you don't have the same security measures in place. You don't have your antivirus on your phone. You don't have maybe a firewall at home, but you're still accessing this information. Now that poses as a loophole in which most attackers are using to get into this information. If maybe there's an email that has been sent, it's a malicious email, it's a phishing email. And because you're using a device that doesn't have this security in place, it's not going to flag it. It's not going to inform you that this is a suspicious email. So most people will end up opening this email. And as a result, because the information is not seated on your phone, but in the cloud, you're going to pose a risk to the entire database of the company as a result of accessing information on such devices.
Okay, okay. Thank you, thank you. Now, another one from Apollo Duarte. Now, according to GDPR regulations imposed, do they involve measures that also provide vulnerability, i.e., is the policy in a way, or is the policy in a way of implication to an organization? I want to believe the question is whether the policies have some downside effects as like exposing the organization.
Absolutely not. I remember when I talked about compliance, governments are realizing that this is important. So they are forcing organizations to be compliant to certain rules. These rules and regulations are there to ensure that much as you're handling all this information, the information you are handling is safe. The people who are trusting you with this information should be confident that the information is safe. So it's not a threat to the company, to the organization. It's actually a good thing. Now, again, depending on the level, on the kind of business you're doing. There are some businesses that are very sensitive. The information they have is very sensitive. And at some point, the government might want to work with you. For example, telecom companies, they handle very sensitive information that can be very informative for the government in the event that they want to work with them, maybe to track somebody or yes, something like that. I think you get the point. So it's not bad for the organizations. It's actually a good thing.
Okay, okay, thank you. Next, we have also from Dr. Gilda. Do you know how we are doing in capacity building of our cybersecurity experts in Kenya? How are the numbers of your contemporaries looking?
Okay, in terms of numbers, I'm not going to just get it off the top of my head, but when it comes to Kenya, in particular, we are actually doing very well. We are seeing a rise in these discussions in terms of cybersecurity. We also have experts within the region, particularly in Kenya. These are discussions that are ongoing. More companies are realizing the importance of having this conversation. And also, as a result of that, now we are seeing more and more people joining in this discussion, getting certified and so on. So we are not doing so badly. However, when it comes to individual businesses now, that's where the problem is, because again, we are still in the stage where we are creating awareness that this is important. This is a discussion that you need to have with your team, and we are here to help with that. So we are not doing so badly, but we are yet to get there.
Great, great. From Apollo Nduati again, on partnering with experts. So when should a business or one consider outsourcing cybersecurity services, and what factors should they Or one, what factors should one consider when selecting a partner? Now, the other side of the question, is it by the counter occurrence activities they've carried, or by the experts they hold, or by the years of business? I think these are the suggestions. Years of business and operation, inexperience, something like that. In other words, how do you choose, at what stage does a business choose that we are now fit to look for an expert to help us in this?
All right. As soon as you start making money as a business, you should start considering your cybersecurity stand. So it's as soon as you're making money. So as a business, as soon as you're starting, you start making money, you should have all these strategies in place.
Okay.
When it comes to how should you choose, again, that will depend on your budget, how big your organization is, and what exactly you're looking for. Because you'll have to invest on over and beyond just the expert. You have to invest on certain tools and softwares that can, safeguard your company. So it depends with your budget and the size of your business.
Okay.
Definitely go with certified people and who have a track record of, providing solutions of the nature that you're looking for.
Okay, maybe we handle one more. Please comment on ERPs. That is from Dr. Melvin. ERPs developed by non-Kenyan, mainly from India, who don't put adequate security systems such that phishing attacks give hackers access to passwords of sensitive people like the HR or finance, and thus whole payroll diverted. Uh, what comments do you have about ERPs?
I think even the way he has asked, that is very straightforward. Avoid them. Avoid them because number one, you won't be able to hold them accountable. Number two, you're putting your business at risk. So if possible, avoid them at all cost. Always go with well-known brands, well-known in terms of their track record and also what their clients are saying about them. I know the other ones you talked about, they are cheaper, but by all means, they are not safe. It's just a business.
Yeah, but you see, there the majority there. Now, there is one which I think I passed. There are many other questions which I think we will not handle, but let me bring this on. How can customers trust their data is safe when companies often hide breaches to protect their reputation? What can be done to ensure customer safety? I think that has to do with the regulations that people are talking about. What would you like to say about that?
You as a user, you have to play your part as well. Make sure that information is safe on your end and let whoever is holding your data play their part as well.
Then recently all my WhatsApp messages were deleted. How can I recover them? Is it possible to recover them?
That's a malware, and no, you won't be able to recover them unless you had backed up your information. And that's why I asked earlier, if something happened to your device, maybe your phone, your tablet, your laptop today, how secure are you? Ideally, you should be able to have all your information backed up safely somewhere. The only thing you won't get is maybe your call logs for that day. Other than that, you should have your information safe. In the event that something has happened to your device, you should not be too worried. Just replace the device and you're good to go.
Okay, great. Uh, Maybe before I give, somebody has a hand up, and I want us to finish this in 4 minutes, including vote of thanks. Somebody has just asked, what is white hacking? And by the way, when we talk of white hacking, who is an ethical hacker?
Okay, so we have a hacker is a hacker. They have the same skill set. Now we have ethical hackers, and then we have the cyber criminals. The cyber criminals are doing it for malicious reasons, And then the ethical hackers are the ones now who help organization to understand where they stand in terms of security or safety of their information. So they'll do the penetration testing, they'll do the vulnerability tests for your security systems and so on. So the ethical hackers help organization understand their security positions, and then the cyber criminals, who are also hackers, they do it for malicious reasons. What is white hacking? This is now where an organization like Live Your Dream can contact an expert to come and hack into their system to understand how safe is their environment. So that is what is called white hacking. And it's done with the full authority and knowledge of the owners of the business.
Thank you. Thank you. It's more or less like fire drill. Now, I'd like to ask Patrick to say what he or she wants, what he wants to say, and keep it short, so that we go to vote of thanks and close. Patrick, unmute. Patrick Mwesigwa.
Hello.
Yes.
Sorry, my question has been answered. I thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much. Therefore, I will welcome Melvin. Dr. Melvin, you can give a vote of thanks on our behalf.
Can I say something before Melvin does?
Yes, you can.
If you'd like us to continue on this conversation, I'm just going to drop my business card in the chats, and you can reach out anytime. Thank you.
Great. Yeah, kindly put your contacts there. Melvin.
Thank you, OPP. What I'd like to say is that on behalf of Power Monday, we'd like to thank Nasambu Wanjala for enlightening us on this very important topic of cybersecurity, because we've come to realize that we are all at risk, because we all collect data, which is both internal and external. And we also are in the business of collecting other people's data. So we are custodians of very important information, which is very attractive to hackers and even to our competitors in business. So thank you so much, Nasambu Wanjala. I'm sure we'll be getting in touch with you. We'll be side chatting you. And I also want to thank the Power Monday team, including OPP, who is possibly a collaborator with you in cybersecurity, Nasambu. And I also want to thank the back office team at Power Monday. Finally, I want to thank the audience for staying this long and being with us this morning. So thank you very much, and see you next Monday at 7:15 in the morning for yet another exciting topic. Over to you, OPP.
Thank you very much, Daktari. And all of us are welcome every Monday. We also have a WhatsApp group. I posted a link there. You can always fill in and then join our WhatsApp group. And then the other thing, and filling in the form is part of that cybersecurity, which we implemented. It's a system. Instead of just posting a link there, we want to know who joins. Yeah. The other thing is, we have a YouTube channel where we post all the recordings every week. You can always subscribe and be following wherever you are. The other thing is, we are going to have a meet and greet next week, and not next week, but next month. It will be a dinner in the evening. We know that the budget per individual is going to be just around 2,500. It will be in the evening of the Friday, 25th of October. And we are going to give the exact venue and the theme and everything. It's going to be a great opportunity to network, to have fun, and also to grow our professions and businesses.